Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first installment of the Nordic Vortex Tri-Gun. I'm sitting here with Chris, Carlson, Jomar, Villamar. You want to say that, Jomar? How do you say it? Villamar. We have Shawn Nelson, and I'm Dustin Sanchez.
Hello.
And we're going to break down in this installment all the major announcements for the Tri-Gun. So we'll get into the date, location, stages, the 3 different registration dates, hotels, and whatnot. So why don't we start with Jomar? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what your role is for the match?
Okay. Hey, guys, I'm Jomar. I'm one of the match directors, and I'm also the guy in charge of the match registrations. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't know what else to say.
All right, Chris, what about you?
I'm Chris Hazen. I am the range master, and also apparently this year I am some type of stage coordinator, as Jomar has given me a title for. I really don't know what that means, but it sure hope it means a pay raise, that's for sure. So
I actually saw on the website it was stage logistic coordinator, which I was really interested in getting into details on that.
Right. I am very interested myself in getting the details, and as soon as somebody gives them to me, I will pass them along to you guys.
So right now you could just make up your own rule set.
Yeah.
I like it.
Just do whatever I want with the stages and the
Note to
logistics
self.
of them. And
Set up parameters for your Sazin.
So basically what that means, I just kind of, oversee all the stages, and hopefully we can fine tune some of the logistics with the stages. We have a few more plans in store this year for Forest Lake itself. We're looking at, in the Gate 3 area, we're looking at kind of near the pole building. We're going to block off an area under the trees there. We're going to get some picnic tables in there and kind of an area with no parking where people can hang out in that, so that guys don't have to. We realize there's not a lot of shade over there, so that if like last year it's really sunny and hot, we can get an area where people during their off time or their lunch break can kind of hang out in the shade and not be in the dust or the dirt or anything like that. And then we're also looking at, we realize that the lunch tickets and having the lunch at the main clubhouse is somewhat problematic for some people. Either their squatter runs behind a little bit, or they're that kind of person where they want to hurry up and get their gear stuff set up, belt reconfigured for the next stage, and they don't necessarily feel they have enough time to head all the way back to Gate 2, which is the main clubhouse, to get their food. So we're going to incorporate a separate food station, whether it be delivery or cooking at both locations, but people will be able to get their food at Gate 3 this year as well.
Oh, that's huge.
So we're just looking at doing a couple things like that. We've taken some of the constructive criticism that we received from people at the match and kind of looked at it, and those are some of those things that we never really thought of, trying to make the actual shooting aspect of the match great,
Right.
and look at improving on some of that stuff for people as well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's not a far drive, but it is for if you're all the way at the very far bay, the hidden bay we call it, to get to your car and then to drive over. That takes some time and a little bit of planning.
Right, yeah, or even if you were at Bay 4, so the second to last one, you shoot there, have to go back to the parking lot, drive over, eat, come back, and then your next stage might be the one that you just talked about, the hidden ones. That's a lot of extra walking. So we're just trying to do a couple things to try to help people out and make it easier so they can still enjoy the lunch and that the Forest Lake Trap Club is cooking for everybody and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if you're new to the Tri-Gun, and let's say or maybe 2018 was your first year to shoot the Tri-Gun, Forest Lake Sportsmen's Club is where the Tri-Gun is held. There are 3 gates. There's Gate 1, Gate 2, and Gate 3. Gate 2 is usually, we got about 2 or 3 bays you'll run down at Gate 2. And then that's also where the clubhouse is, so for registration. And you can also swing by there to get your food, some water, pop, whatever it is you're drinking. And also some of the sponsors put up their tents there. Gate 1 is usually, we got a long range bay there. and then you guys usually do a pistol or a shotgun stuff in one of those other bays there. And then gate 3 is competition bays. It's was there 5 bays there?
Well, 6 total.
6 total.
Yeah, if you count the hidden bay as I guess it's a separate bay.
Right.
So, but
And there's very, very little shade at that gate at all. If you're out on the bays, there's zero shade. So bringing in, kind of sectioning that section off just for food and beverages and shade is huge.
yep. So we're hoping to try to figure out a way to to make more people comfortable. I realized that some of the competitors had parked their campers up there last year. We don't anticipate that being a problem. There'll just be a little bit more room where some of the local shooters know that we hold our shooters meetings kind of in that little area by the parking lot, and there's like a fire pit in front of the pole barn and stuff, and we're just going to keep that open from parking, and maybe 4 or 5 picnic tables in there, and there's a lot of shade, especially at the lunchtime during the day from the tree canopy to get people out of the sun.
So I guess one question I have for you is the Tri-Gun's typically 9 stages. You usually have an all rifle stage, all pistol stage, all shotgun stage. The other 6 are open to either 2-gun, 3-gun, whatever from there. And then in between gate 2 and gate 3, there's usually some all shotgun stages, side stage. Is that going to be the same case this year?
We're
Side
looking
match?
at that. We're going to do some side match, but we got some ideas if we want to try that. We're still kind of in the idea stage on how we're going to actually run a side match. But there will be at least two stages of side matches.
All right, so I mean that's a total of 11 stages, but the side match is always optional, correct?
Yep.
It's a cash buy-in, cash payout, so kind of a pay to play. And if shotgun's not your game, or you get enough shooting already, then you're certainly not obligated to partake in it.
Yeah, that's usually the one where you see people like Dylan Easley who will shoot every division possible on these side stages to have some fun. And was that 2 years ago he shot all the divisions that he could on a side stage or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago. So,
it was pretty entertaining to watch him, especially in open. I think it was an unloaded start, so he had to load that shotgun all the way up on his tube fed. Yeah, that was pretty fun to watch. That's awesome. All right, so another thing that the Tri-Gun does that's particularly different is you have 3 different phases for registration. Usually you have 2. This year you have 3.
Yep.
Let's get into that.
Well, for the past couple of years, we've always done 2 phases. First phase has always been for returning shooters. We've always appreciated the shooters that always come back year after year after year. And so for the past, ever since, I should go back, ever since we started, this whole thing started out as the Nordic Opponents Tactical Shotgun match. We've been doing this first phase thing where prior shooters for the shot are matched 3 consecutive years in a row gets basically early registrations. They get those shooters that shot our match in 2016, 2017, and 2018. Will get a private invitation through email from me. I'll give the link to the match, and then they get basically a first shot at getting the match. And then new this year is we're including another phase, and that's for our heavy shooters. We're proud of the fact that Tri-Gun is one of the very few matches now that still has both divisions and still has a strong showing for both divisions. We average about 10 shooters in each division every year. We're proud of that. Heavy divisions, as you guys know, it's kind of doesn't have as much participants as we want. We want to keep that. We want to keep those divisions alive. We want to make sure that they know they're appreciated. So for the second phase is for heavy shooters only. Either people that want to sign up for heavy optics or heavy limited. The idea with that is those shooters that sign up, that take that early registrations, for the heavy division has to stay in the heavy division. They can switch to either the heavy divisions, but they cannot switch out of the heavy divisions.
Right, I saw in the rules that if they switch to like TAC limited, TAC ops, they would be waitlisted.
Yep, so they're going to have to go back to the bottom of the wait list. There's always the excuse that goes, oh, my gun broke. Well,
Right.
Get it fixed.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
I was really excited when I saw that. I think all four of us here now can actually say we've shot heavy. It's fun. And there's usually, 20 to 24 competitors total in both divisions, heavy limited, heavy optic. So it was really exciting to see that. And I saw some people already posting, they were excited to see that they didn't have to be in the mad rush to sign up for the match now.
Yep.
That they could wait for, phase 2 to kick in, which I believe was January 28th is what you guys have down for the date on that?
Let me check here. I think second phase set to open on Monday, January 28th. at noon.
Yeah. So if you're shooting heavy, Monday, January 22nd, that's going to be your time
January
to get
28th.
into. Or sorry, 28th. I just said that too.
And it's only going to be open till February 1st, so it's only open for like 5 days or even less than that. It's only open for just a few days before I shut it down.
Right.
You guys know me. I've always been a heavy shooter. I've been a heavy shooter since I started playing this game in 2004 is when we started SAS.
Yeah.
So, I've always loved heavy metal. So I've always tried to be a big advocate for it and try to keep it alive. So it's just an idea that we came up with to bump up the heavy numbers.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, and for the people that are probably new to the Tri-Gun, wanting to get into it, the Tri-Gun usually fills up in less than 2 minutes. I think, what was the time last year, Shawn?
It was just over a minute last year.
Yeah, I think
right.
a minute 35, a minute 36 is what it was last year. The year before that, it was like under 5 minutes, and the year before that, it's under 12 minutes.
So if you've got the heavy gear at home and you're afraid that you might not make it in the registration, here's your chance. Jump in, shoot it in heavy, and come have fun.
Or if you're looking to buy some more guns, so everything's available and
There you go.
Yeah, honey,
Right.
I need more guns.
market's a good time right now to be purchasing. So
All right, so that's the second phase. And the third phase will open up on Thursday, February 7th at 6 p.m., 8 p.m., and that's for general registration. That's for everybody to get in the match. No, we keep our match slots limited. We're not in it for the profit. We're not in it to pull in an outrageous number of shooters. We want to keep our we're all about the quality of the match. So we're limiting it to 244 regular shooters. That's 244 shooters that are actually shooting it during the match days, not including match staff. So, so there's limited number of shooters. So you are planning, if you want to get in a match, be ready at February 7th at 8 p.m. Hit the keyboard.
Can we touch on if you get waitlisted? What's that look like in the past? I don't want people to be discouraged if they get waitlisted.
So,
right?
Another thing I'm doing different this year is the past years I've waited until a month before the match for the refund deadline. Again, we're not about profits. Our refund policy, our cancellation policy is very simple. If you cancel before the cancellation deadline, you get a full refund.
Nice.
No half fees, none of that stuff. For us, it's about if you gotta cancel, you gotta as long as you cancel before the cancellation date, you get a full refund. This year, I'm moving it up 6 weeks before the match. So the match cancellation deadline will be 6 weeks prior to the start of the match. We usually get a number of cancellations. That's when people start figuring out really their schedule that's coming up for June. We get a number. We get roughly a handful, maybe maybe a dozen cancellations, and I pick off the wait list. The wait list is basically going to be based on the order you registered.
Yep. I
I go right down the list. I I stay honest to the list. As soon as a cancellation opens, I start either contacting people by email, or if I don't hear from them within a certain timeline, I might even give them a call. On an average year, we'll get maybe 40 to 60 people on the wait list, and before the match starts, I usually try to exhaust the wait list. I mean, I've just called people. And I keep going on the list. Last year, with the deadline being a month before the Tri-Gun, it was a little slim picking on the wait list because people can't get their schedules in. So I pretty much exhausted the wait list last year. We had about 60 people last year.
Really?
So if you're waitlisted, don't give up. I'm gonna start picking people off the wait list about 6 weeks prior to the match.
So there you go. If you're not quick with the mouse, there's a chance. There's still a chance.
Well, I believe I saw too that if they were to be even like they could register, but they were going to mail in their payment, it had to be in within 2 weeks of their registration.
Yep.
So if they haven't gotten it in within the 2 weeks,
2 weeks, their registration gets rotated. We get
right. So if you get waitlisted and you're the first one on the wait list, you could possibly be, not on the wait list 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So be sure to write, don't get scared of the wait list like Shawn was saying here.
Definitely not.
Yeah, and obviously the way that, some of these matches work is that, match sponsors have a number of slots allotted to shoot, and we'll find out, however long before the match that, they couldn't get that many people to come or something like that. So there's a lot of other opportunities as far,
right.
For the wait list opening up, going down the road too. So.
And every shooter, everybody's ever been to a major match pretty much knows that the blood of the prize table are the sponsors. So we block off a lot of those slots for the sponsors to get them in the match and then get their sponsor shooters in the match. It's just the rules of the game, just how the game goes. And we block off probably a lot more sponsor slots than we actually need to. So about 3 or 4 weeks before the match starts, I'll start releasing some of those unused sponsor slots to the people on the wait list.
Yeah, speaking from personal experience on this with JP, there's been times where I didn't have anybody to fill up a slot, and I would just call the match director and be like, hey, why don't you give our slots away to somebody, because we don't have anybody that's going to be going and can attend. And so, yeah, there's always those opportunities there. Mm-hmm. Let's change subjects here. Something new I saw this year that you guys actually have a match hotel.
Yep. Our gal, Tiffany Overland, probably the greatest gal in the world to me, always takes care of a lot of my logistics. She was able
I'll
to...
tell his wife you said that as well. So.
Todd,
well, I think Todd understands that.
Yeah, Todd understands. Your wife, you're sleeping on the couch tonight. So
I think everybody at this table can easily say that Tiffany has bailed us out.
For sure.
A couple of things.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
So new this year, Tiffany set up, I'm trying to bring up our website here.
It's at the Country Inn and Suites.
Country Inn and Suites in Forest Lake.
Yeah, so it's 2.3 miles from the range. That's not a drive at all.
No, and right in the heart of plenty of places to get some food, to get beverages, to hang out and stuff like that. Gas stations. There's Forest Lake's got everything you could ask for. Menards,
So,
grocery store.
Do we have any hard details on this hotel? How many rooms?
Yep, I don't exactly have numbers of how many rooms, but there's a block of rooms set aside. I believe it was posted on our Facebook page. $100 per night. It's what the rate that was blocked off for that for those rooms. Okay. I just don't have a number of rooms yet.
Well, we can put it in the show notes for this podcast here, and we will make sure we post a little bit more about that on the social media accounts for people.
Also, Ron Westberg from Forest Lake, the manager of Forest Lake, is setting something up with the Hampton Inn in Circa Pines, which is pretty much the next town over. for shooters to get a discounted rate for that hotel too.
Okay, so
We'll firm that up.
there's a possible chance of having 2 match hotels. That'd
Yep.
be cool.
Yeah, and I think the one in Circle Pines is maybe 6 to 8 miles away. So I mean, it's still right, and that one's right off the freeway too. So it's just a real short drive and to get to that one too. So
Right. Yeah, and then I know there's AmericInn as well in Forest Lake. So there's plenty of places, plenty of hotels. If you get registered, you can call in, get your room, and have everything set up
Yep.
long before you.
Yep,
go shoot
and
the match.
we've had a few people that have found other rooms that were considerably cheaper at different venues over the years, and then talk to us after the fact. If you kind of want to go rogue and find your own hotel, maybe give one of us a shout and let us know if it's a good idea to get a room there at wherever it is you're going
Right,
to, and
yeah.
not.
Yep.
I know we had a few shooters that their accommodations weren't quite what they thought they were going to be. So
Right. And then there's always Tent City. Is that still going to be something?
Yep. We're still gonna have RV in Tent City in the Gate 2 area.
So you can bring your own tent and
Yep.
camp right there at the range.
Yeah, if you're going to bring in an RV or a camper, get a hold of Ron Westberg at Forest Lake, set something up. There's limited spots where that will have power, but there's plenty of parking spots.
yeah, if you want to try to get one of the spots that has an actual RV hookup, talk to Ron. Otherwise, the parking lot at Gate 2 has room for more campers than you could ever imagine, but you're just not going to have any kind of power or anything like that. You're going to be sort of self-sustained over there.
Right. So I guess next thing, moving on here, are there any major rule changes this year that anybody should be aware of? Any divisions need to know anything?
Well, we changed the senior category up a little bit. We just changed it up last night, actually. We're moving up the senior dates to be more in line with the USPSA and most of the other major matches. So the senior, for the senior category, you got to be 50 to 64 years old. And new this year, we're adding super senior. That's going to be a 65 and older. 55.
Did we change senior to 55 or?
Senior are 55 to 64, and super senior
you
are
said
65.
You said 50, so
Oh,
it
sorry.
was 50.
It was 50.
Okay.
And now it's 55.
Okay,
So
okay.
anybody that just turned 50 and thought they were going to go after that senior crown, 5 more years, buddy, 5 more years.
Believe it or not, we average about 40 people in the senior category year after year. It's the largest category we had, so we had to split it up a little bit and make it more fair game for everybody.
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
Other than that, there are some things that are in discussion, more of really just secondary match or stage stuff, but no big changes to the rules.
Yeah, as of right now, the divisions are going to be as they were last year. We've discussed some options within the divisions, I guess, or some of the small rules, but there will not be any major rule changes whatsoever.
Shawn found a drum for 308. So if you guys wanted to consider letting heavy guys run
50 rounder.
a 50-round drum.
Well, with the and that was one of the things that we had talked about, and then me and Dustin kind of talked about a little bit beforehand. We started the show here is possibly looking at, with the number of people hopefully coming in with the second phase of heavy, is to maybe look at doing something to some of the divisions a little bit more in line with some of the other matches.
Right.
Whether that would be allowing one hole on paper for handgun, or allowing 40 caliber in. And there's a lot of stuff that we can toss around, and nothing that's happened yet. But we'll see what happens at that phase of registration and go from there.
Yeah, that's cool. Shawn, you got anything?
Yeah, on that note, can we expect the scheduling, the squads to be the same as prior years, or any changes there?
Yep. I know that's a touchy subject, scheduling a half day, on and off schedule, and all that stuff. What it comes down to is we put on a match match. We have sponsors, and we want our sponsors to benefit from our match. So the on and off schedule with a lunchtime will, to us, will give the shooters more opportunity to actually come visit the sponsors that are setting up booths or displays at the main clubhouse. We need people to come see them. They are the ones that are sponsoring this match. They are the one providing the items for the sponsor tables. We don't want people just coming in, shoot a half day, and then scoot out. We want people to actually come around, visit and mingle with other people.
Right.
Definitely visit and mingle with the sponsors.
Well, in the two title sponsors, they usually have a good team there. Vortex comes down. A lot of actually employees of Vortex will shoot this match. Mm-hmm. And then Nordic usually has their gunslinger guys there. So, when you see those guys walking by, those teams, they are part of the title sponsors here. Be sure to shake their hands, say thank you. Talk to them about their products, too. Both these companies make great products. Get any questions about it, talk to them, and kind of go there.
Yeah, I think one thing, getting back to the on-off versus a half-day format, and I know we've all seen all the Facebook polls and everyone talking about it and everything like that, and it's just one of those things that we've all been to matches where a half-day format went fantastic and you're fist pumping and saying this is the greatest, and we've been to the matches where it was the opposite and you were the morning squad and you're still shooting at 4 p.m. We feel that going the route that we're going, not only the stuff that Jomar talked about, but it gives everybody a fair advantage as far as the targets, as far as the weather goes, and everything like that.
Right.
So we also have 3 gates, as you talked about earlier in Forest Lake, to contend with. So putting, if you're shooting back to back to back, and you have to go from gate 1 to gate 2, gate 3 to gate 1, and all the way from stage 9, which would be the very end of the hidden bay in gate 3, all the way to the parking lot, get in your car and drive to gate 1.
Yeah, it takes some time.
Right, without having that built-in break.
A lot of people will, they'll be in gate 3 all day 1, and they don't think anything about that travel time for the guys that have to shoot 2 stages in gate 3 and move all the way over to gate 1. That is some travel time, packing some stuff up.
Right, and you can, I know like Blue Ridge and some other matches, they've done, they've set stages in quadrants, and just the way that we have it at gate 1, we can't keep the same quality of match by having 3 stages in gate 1. So we can't set gate 1 as its own quadrant where you'd go there and you'd shoot there and stay there the whole, your whole half day shooting.
Yep.
So you're gonna, even in a half day format, you're gonna have to do some type of drive from gate 3 to gate 1, and then leaving gate 1 to go to gate 2 or vice versa.
Right.
So there's just a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't realize when they kind of throw this stuff out for discussion, and I get it. I've been to enough matches where I've picked apart and Monday morning quarterbacked.
Listen, I shot a match this year where I was supposed to shoot 4 stages one day, and we shot 2 by 11:30, and were sent home for the day because day 1 went horrible.
Yeah.
Right, and so every match is that way. You'll have some days that are good, some days that are bad. I think it's just try to pay attention to the flavor of the match and have fun.
Mm-hmm. And some matches, the half-day schedule will work. Some matches don't.
Yeah.
Just for us, it's just the way our match is set up. It's not going to work for us.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else, Shawn?
No, we're running short on time here, so thank you, gentlemen, for sitting down with us.
While we're here, I want to thank you guys as well for sitting down with us, talking about this. We want to thank Osseo Gun Club for allowing us to use their club, their little office here to do the podcast, and we're about to get ready to go shoot some indoor 2-gun because it's nice and cold here in Minnesota.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys.
All right,
Sounds good. Have a good one.
Thank you.